Hello, I'm Daniel White and welcome back to my channel. Please take a moment to subscribe, like or hit that notification button if you haven't already so that you can keep up to date with all of my latest uploads. As an estate agent in Wimbledon with almost 3 decades in the business, I've helped clients with varying requirements over the years, and this includes first-time buyers who are getting onto the ladder for the very first time. In today's videos, I want to talk to you about the 5 biggest mistakes that first-time buyers make to help those of you that are new to the home buying process so that your experience can run as smoothly as possible. After all, property is one of the biggest purchases any of us will ever make within our lifetime. The property that you choose will also be a place that you call home for the foreseeable future, so it pays to get things right before you sign on that dotted line. Although buying a property is an exciting prospect, you will also need to consider any potential challenges that you may face, especially as a first-time buyer. Using my hindsight as an estate agent here in London, I want to ensure that you don't fall into any of the common pitfalls which can happen to those who enter into the home buying process for the first time without doing any research. So look, the first mistake on my list is the step before buying a house, and that's getting your finances in order. With the average house deposit coming in at £57,000 in the UK at the time of filming, it can be quite a struggle to scrape that money together for a deposit. The cost of a deposit in itself isn't a mistake as such, seeing as house prices continually rise with inflation. However, when you also factor in the additional costs such as legal fees, surveyors, moving fees, and even the cost of things such as insurance or home improvements, many first-time buyers woefully underestimate the full spectrum of the costs involved in buying a home. Though by taking the time to consider your finances, or better still, seeking advice from a financial advisor, any bumps in the road can be avoided, as you'll be in a much stronger position to secure a property, not to mention afford any expenses which just aren't on your mind when you're too busy picturing your next life stage, rather than focusing on the responsibilities that you're going to be entering into. So while you may be in a hurry to escape your parents' spare room or all that costly rental accommodation, you'll also want to make sure that you'll be truly able to afford what's to come so that you don't end up back there. Therefore, first-time buyers need to avoid the common mistake of underestimating the total cost involved, because much of the focus is usually on the deposit alone, and granted, the deposit is the biggest expense in securing a property, but it's not the only one you'll face as you enter the process, so you need to be prepared. The second mistake first-time buyers make is not paying enough attention to the area they are looking to purchase in. Naturally, cost is going to dictate which postcodes are obtainable and which are not, especially in places such as London, where I'm based here with Fine & Country. That said, you also need to think of the realistic aspect of the neighbourhood and whether it fits your requirements or not. On the most basic level, you need to research the crime rate and general appeal of the area, which will also influence the value of your home over time, not to mention how safe you're going to feel within the property. However, to caveat this point, it's also possible the area could be up and coming. So look, when you're out viewing properties, look out for renovation work being carried out within the area, particularly on nearby residential properties, as this could indicate the area is on its way up. Rising property prices are likely to follow, which would mean excellent news for your investment when you eventually decide to sell. Though you should also look out for amenities such as nearby shops, healthcare facilities, schools and public transport options. You'll also need to calculate your commute time by doing a practice run before buying the property, seeing as lengthy commutes can soon make you fall out of love with your new home, regardless of how amazing it happens to be. Moving on to my third mistake that first-time buyers make, and that is looking at the property with rose-tinted glasses rather than as a savvy buyer who is truly aware of what they are purchasing. Specifically, not being aware of any potential problems that could lead to you overpaying for the home or incurring expensive costs to fix those issues. Granted, as a first-time buyer, you may not have the experience with horrors such as damp and mold, subsidence, leaking roofs or pest infestations. Perish the thought. But if any such problems exist, you'll need to be looking out for them so that you have a full understanding of the condition of the building. While some first-time buyers aren't put off by potential major issues as they intend on renovating the property or they've set aside a budget to do so, it is essential that it is carefully inspected whilst you are on the viewing. Be sure to take some pictures and a notebook with you to document your findings. Also, don't skip any home buyer surveys either. Yeah, look, having a surveyor assess the property will incur costs in the vicinity, but would you rather know the status of the property now or after you've brought it and suddenly find that you have costly problems on your hands that you are now responsible for? So look, get smart and enter that home buying process with your eyes firmly open. The fourth biggest mistake that first-time buyers make is not getting an agreement in principle. An agreement in principle is a certificate from your mortgage provider that outlines how much they are likely to allow you to borrow when you are ready to make an offer on your new home. It is important to note that an agreement in principle isn't an official document. However, it's going to demonstrate to sellers that you are a serious buyer. And given that you are a first-time buyer, you won't have the same level of clout that existing buyers will have. So anything that you can do to demonstrate your financial credibility is well worth the effort. Plus, getting agreement in principle means delays with your mortgage application are less likely because you've already done that initial legwork. The fifth and final big mistake that first-time buyers make is more of a general thing, in that with so many online-only estate agents these days, buyers are searching for properties purely online. So that whilst viewing properties online can have its upsides, on the flip side, it means that so many first-time buyers especially are missing out on local knowledge by not consulting a high street estate agent. As an estate agent myself, when a new client contacts me to search for a property that fits their needs, there is a wide criteria that I consider before presenting them with a list of options, let alone arranging any viewings. For example, how much space do they require? Are they willing to put work into the property to make it their own? Or do they have a busy lifestyle or a young family and they want somewhere that they can move straight into? Most importantly, what is a realistic budget for my client? It is also likely that if my clients are looking for a property here in Wimbledon, I would have already sold properties down the same street that they are interested in. This means I'll not only know the area like the back of my hand, but I've also have an acute understanding of the value of property in the area when it comes to negotiating the sale price with the buyer. Can you honestly say that an online estate agent website that probably doesn't even have an office, let alone a representative in your location, can offer you the same level of service and attention? So look, while you may be able to order everything from your lunch to your Amazon order online these days, some things, such as buying a property, aka the biggest purchase you'll ever make in your life, are best done in person with a highly experienced estate agent such as myself. So that's my roundup of the 5 big mistakes that first-time buyers make. But I'm keen to hear from you if you have any further questions about the home buying process, especially if you're a first-time buyer. Leave me a comment below, and as I mentioned at the start of this video, be sure to subscribe, like, so that you don't miss out on any of my home buying tips or tours of some of the amazing properties that I represent across Wimbledon. Alternatively, if you're looking to purchase or sell a property in the Wimbledon area, please find my contact details in the description box to arrange the next steps. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.